thank you everyone for having this. This is an amazing opportunity for all of us. And I'm sure there are so many people that should have been paying attention and actually applied to these things because these are incredible opportunities. So thank you very much for all coming in together.
Actually, I got a call at 12:15 today from somebody wanting to be part of this.
You're like, sorry. That's so funny. Wow. Like you said, my name is Leslie Hill. I am the owner and president of Hill Image LLC, which is a personal image consulting company. And what I do is I go into women's, men's, adolescents, basically any closet you can think of. I will come into your closet. I look at everything that you have in there. We look at your body size. We look at your shape, what's hanging in there, what the best colors are for your body, and we weed out what shouldn't be there. And we keep what should be. So anything that has pilling on it has just been slightly worn. What's the difference between fading of one top and fading of another? What are some of the indispensable pieces that you should invest in, like pants and coats versus tops and accessories? Those kind of things that can help people live their lives more confidently. But it's not just about image for me. Actually, my background is I designed apparel and accessories for 15 years prior to starting this company. So I worked right out of school. So I graduated with a bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising and apparel design from Ball State, Indiana. And when I left there, I started at Spiegel catalog company. I don't know if you all remember them. They had a phenomenal catalog, and I was just giddy about having the opportunity to work there. So I was really excited, gung-ho, got to work on everything from apparel to fine jewelry and watches. And then they went bankrupt. So then I didn't know what I was going to do, which I knew going into. We had serious issues. It wasn't because of me, hopefully. They had filed for Chapter 11 before I had even come on board. So I was actually surprised that they allowed any kind of hiring during a phase like that. But due to that, most people were then looking for jobs elsewhere. And so a vendor of mine picked me up. So I worked for them just right down the road from my house, downtown Chicago. Fantastic, I could walk there. And I got a lot of great experience there. The manager that I had actually worked for at Spiegel started working at a company out in Colorado. And she said, come out and see me. Went to see her. 3 weeks later, I moved there. So definitely was like, if you want a job, come back out, come out here if you're interested. And I was. So I went there. I did sweaters it was a Misty Line sweater company, basically things you'd find in the Vail area. It was called Icelandic Design. And from there, then I came here to Vera Bradley. So I designed, forecasted, acted as a merchant in a merchant role, sales, everything you could possibly think of for Vera Bradley. In 2013, I think I left there, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do yet. I was going to have my hand at being a stay-at-home mom. I wasn't very good at that. I had about a 6-month-old at the time and a 3.5-month-old, or a 3-year-old. And I love them so much that I should not stay home with them. So I decided I had been kind of courting and talking with a company called The Good Ones here in town, which is operated under One Lucky Guitar and Matilda Jane. And the day that I was hired there, it was just going to be part-time, so it would have been perfect. The day that I was hired on, the owner of Matilda Jane, the founder, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So it was kind of a rocky situation. So we decided to put that on hold about 8 months later and just kind of figure out what was going on. And that's when, at that point, I was okay with staying home again, but I really like working. I like to work. People have hobbies, and mine is working. How lame is that? But that's how it is. So I got involved with Mentoring Women's Network here in town, and I went through their online program, which kind of connects you with people all over the country. And 2 of my mentors said, out of the curricula or the things that you want in your life and your background. So you want to help people, but you don't know how. You don't want to start a non-for-profit. What are your options here? You have a fashion background. So I decided to just keep talking with them, and 2 immediately said, you should be an image consultant. Looked it up, researched it, and I thought, yes, this could be perfect. I know how things fit on a body. I've designed them for 15 years. This is fantastic. I can help people. I can make people happy. This is great. I went and got certified, started my business. It's been phenomenal. I had a goal of serving within 3 months 10 people, which didn't sound like a lot within 3 months, but to me it was right before the end of the year. That means men or women had to spend money on themselves right at fourth quarter. So I was really proud of myself for getting 10 clients at that high-end level. My package was $600 at the time, $650 now. So I was really, really proud of myself. And what I can tell you is, out of starting the company a year and a half ago, thinking that I could help people put clothes on their body. Everybody needs them. I can help them do that. I know how things fit. I had a different view of how clothes should fit on a body than how they really do fit on a body. As a designer, I would design clothes on one figure, and then we would scale up or scale down to meet all the needs of every size. That does not reflect what goes on in the market. So this is the best opportunity that I could have possibly ever given myself. And I never want to go back now as a designer, because no designer ever takes into account who's wearing the clothes, whether it's man, woman, or child. We see one ideal and we gradiate. So now knowing, okay, I've designed this shirt fits no one. No wonder I have so many things in my warehouse as a forecaster. I bought it because I'm thinking, based off another shirt that's slightly similar, that they might be able to buy 3,000 more the next season. Well, this piece might have sold because the colors look really good on people on this end, but maybe the shape looks horrible. We can just make it look pretty because of these colors, whatever it may be. So I'm getting so much more of just brain activity, the mental process that goes through shopping, by having the front and the back end through all of my experience in my career. What I did not anticipate in starting this company was almost being a life coach. The second you tell someone that you're an image consultant, immediately, no matter if it's a man, woman, or child, they immediately say, oh my gosh, don't look at me. I don't even know what I wore today, or whatever. And then all of a sudden, immediately, I'm like, what did I wear? I don't even know what I have on right now. So immediately, it's intimidating. Then you say, let me come into your closet. Oh, and by the way, maybe I could see you in your bra and underwear while we're in your closet. That is so intimidating. So when I give away a silent auction item, I've been working the tables so that it makes more sense. If you're there, people are, what in the world is an image consultant? Then I can tell them, and then they say, you're never coming into my closet. You cannot go in there. And the very first thing I think of is, if you knew me, I don't care what your closet looks like. I could care less. I literally don't care what the rest of your house looks like. Right now, I'm focused on making you a happier person. That's my role. I want you to be able to walk into your closet, get dressed every single morning in a happy atmosphere. I don't want it to be so intimidating every single time you get dressed to think, I don't know if I should wear this. Do these things go together? How do I accessorize? I don't even know how to wear a scarf. There are all these things that go together. Okay, my wife bought me this jacket. Does it go with this tie, or am I supposed to wear this shirt? Now I've bought my wife a sweater. She's just supposed to wear it. And the wife says, great. What the heck do I wear that with? And all of this is a creative aspect that you don't really anticipate as just being a buyer or a shopper. You buy something because you've walked into a store and there are 1,300 pieces of apparel and you get to see 1/4 of an inch of each shirt, and you start to narrow it down because it might be a color that you like, because where else do you start? So as an image consultant, right now my barrier to entry is that I have to educate the public that A, it's a profession, that it's here, and that B, it's not intimidating. I have to make it so that people can see that I'm a real person. So even today in my outfit, I cannot tell you when I bought this jacket. I have no clue. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got it at Steinmart. And this skirt I got in New York City on one of my trips. I'm pretty sure it was under $50. But I'm hoping that I look more than what I've spent on my apparel. That's my goal. That's my goal for every single person I help. Because if we all have that story inside, we all have all of these things that we're here for, these purposes everybody says that we're here for. And we may already know what they are. Some people don't, some people do. But no one will ever be able to hear it if you can't get past the outside. So once I started learning more about image consulting and knowing that I wanted to do it, I thought back kind of through my short 36 years, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've basically been doing this all my life. There are two people in particular that made me solidified that I really wanted to do this as a profession. One woman I worked with had fabulous long hair. It kind of cascaded around her shoulders here. She kind of wore bangs in her eyes, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. It was always clean. It was always well put together. And one of the company owners couldn't stand to work with her because her bangs were always just slightly in her eye. I'm not talking here, which we've all seen before. I'm talking here, but she did not like it. So she went to a coworker and asked the owner, goes to this girl's coworker and says, "Can I borrow your bracelet?" In a meeting, gets the bracelet, pulls back the employee's hair with a co-owner's bracelet. Granted, I realize I'm in the fashion industry, but I've also been in the business end of that fashion industry, and I cannot believe that those things happen. So now this woman, who's a marketing executive, has to walk around all of the peers that entire day, and for months later, years later, knowing that her hair has been pulled back with a coworker's person under her to boot. Her hair is now out of her face. These kind of things happen. How do these things happen? I don't know, but they do. Now, if they had help, maybe had she employed someone like me to come into the company and talk to them as a group and say, everybody's got their things. When we are in meetings with the owner, let's all have the hair out of our face. Let's talk about how much cleavage can be shown, how much crack can be shown, what's going on as we're here on the job. How can we be brand ambassadors and get more yeses during the day? There's another employee that I worked with, a coworker. She was actually so highly sought out for her skills that she couldn't come here, she couldn't come to the city to be interviewed. So they actually flew out there to meet her. They courted her. She took the position. And once she got here, the rest of the employees couldn't give her the time of day. She was directing all of these meetings. She was integral to the strategy of growth, the operations team. Everything that was going on was behind this one force. And none of the females, at least, could listen to what she was saying. There's all this chitter chatter back here. Oh my gosh, do you see her? When was the last time she watched that? Oh. So she had all of this experience, but no one would let her excel because of her personal appearance, which is so sickening, but it's what we do. And it's of no fault of anyone's. It's human nature. But what you can do with an image consultant is you can conquer all of that. And a company could even hire that to be taken care of so that it's not just, so that you're not just leaving it to someone's own personal motivation to have this done. So within Hill Image, and the mission being building confidence by developing one's wardrobe or your personal brand and your all over image knowledge, what you're really getting is financial help, because we work on budgets and understanding what to spend and when to spend. So let's look at your budget. Let's create a budget. Let's talk about what part of that budget should be spent on apparel or hair or accessories, all of these kind of things. Let's break all that down. Let's talk about cost per wear. So right now, Hill Image is helping with financials for a family. Then on top of that, you have mental health, obviously, your confidence. And I always start with values. So before we even get started, we talk about what are your values? I want you to write down 5 values. From there, let's talk about what you want people to think of you as. Say you walk out of the room. What are 5 adjectives you want each one of those people to say? And you want all of them basically to say those same adjectives. That's your personal brand. So what are you emulating? What are you going to be known for? If you died tomorrow, what would people say about you? We start with that, because all of this internal has to be set before you can get to the external. So there's mental health, there's finances, and then I'm a big proponent of helping the environment. On one particular trip to China that I had taken, I went to the Canton Fair. Has anybody visited that before in China? Canton is in China, and it ends up being an entire city of stuff you can buy. It's almost like Vegas, how you never have to go outside because you can go all through the little loopholes. That's how Canton Fair is. But every time it's almost like you're in Alice in Wonderland, because you walk in and then you're just with more stuff. This stuff right here is going to be banana holders, because those are very important to have. And then you go through another hole, and now this stuff is brooms and dustpans. And you're like, I would have never known that there were thousands of options of brooms and dustpans. Then you go through another hole and you think, who would have known that I need thousands of large fountains with mermaids spitting water and things? All of this in one area. Oh, my favorite is the toilet seat covers with the fish that kind of float in them. Lots of those. In case you ever need any, you should go to Canton Fair. But this is everything that any person anywhere in the world can purchase. And after I left there, I thought, I don't think I can design anymore. Like I feel gross. I feel like everything that I've been making for the past 10 years at that point in time is basically just going to a landfill. And that's an awful way to look at it, because there's a lot of creativity that goes into it. So I don't mean to sound really negative, but that's how it came to me. I drive a Prius, I compost, I recycle, I do all that kind of stuff. So for me, it really hit home. Like, what am I doing with my life? I'm literally just making things that are ending up in the landfill. Because right now, consumerism is rampant, and that's all we do. We just consume. So I didn't want to add to that. So through image consulting, I am able to say, not only are we going to take things that don't fit you, we're going to donate them. We're not going to throw them away. We're going to donate them. If you go through the Goodwill, they use these things to stuff mattresses, to use them as cleaning rags. They send them to wherever, third world countries. Like, they have purpose for all of these clothes if they aren't sold. And that means that money goes back to the community. So if they're selling them, Hill Image has a hand in that too. I've done a lot with Goodwill, going and talking to their customers and just encouraging them to, you can find a ton. I am huge into secondhand stores, because 80% of our wardrobe goes unused. 80. 20% is all we wear. So if you think you donate something, you could have literally worn that twice. Maybe worn it once. Maybe it still has tags on it and you just had never worn it before. So image consulting has now turned into this such a bigger picture for me. And that's where my hurdle is. I need to figure out how to get this message out to the masses. I want you to know not to be intimidated by me. I want you to know that basically we're all holding hands together. I'm going to help you with your finances. I'm going to help you with your mental health. I'm going to help you help your community. And together we're going to help the environment. So it's not very fancy. It can be really dirty. We're always sweating. By the time you try on every single piece in your wardrobe, you feel like you've been doing lats and pull downs for the last 4 hours. But it starts a ripple effect. You tell one person and they think, oh, this is a great idea. Why have I never done that? Oh, I want you to do that for my daughter. And to see just the responses in children is amazing. When I do a child's closet, it's so fun because it's completely different than when I'm doing one for an adult. They don't want to look like they care. They gotta look like they just rolled out of bed, literally. I had one young girl tell me, you can't create an outfit out of that. That's just, she doesn't say this, but that had to just be pieces. You could only look like she had a pant and a shirt on. And I said, well, can we make the shirt be like your favorite band? Like, can we give you something here? So it's just been so fun. It's such a weird experience to know that everyone has their own different needs. And I like doing that. You also think of an image consultant, everybody kind of gets out, this person looks like this person looks just like that person, this person looks just like that person. And I like to make it that everyone has their own character. I don't want to replicate anyone. Everyone is individual. That's me. Any questions?
Maybe for an example, you could critique what Steve and Dennis have on today.
That too.
You can tell what our backgrounds are by the way we're dressed.
But that's
And
what
our age too, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly, this is our stamp on society. This is what it says.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about wearing a sweatshirt and dungarees, but didn't
More
think that'd
power
be
to
real
you.
appropriate today. So.
Yeah, I thought about rolling out of bed in my sweats, but I thought maybe
So, will you reach a saturation point of the number of people that you can personally serve? I mean, it's only so many hours in a week for you to work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to that point, you got any thoughts about where you might go with that?
I do know that there's enough talent in the area that I can expand by acquiring help. I know that, especially with having colleges around between Ball State, IU, Purdue. They all have decent graduates. But for the most part, what I want to be focused on, maybe after year 3, is doing my business in normal business hours and probably a Saturday, rather than doing so much at night. And to do that, I honestly have quite a few customers that want to do that because either their husband isn't home and so then they don't have to worry about more judgment. But it also has to do just with availability. But I think the more I'm out there, I think that it will be easier to say, yes, I would take a day off for you.
Good. What else?
I do have a new industry term for you.
Yes.
It's called ACE. That's the acceptable crack exposure.
Nice. I am so using that.
I didn't know that any amount was acceptable.
Don't get it.
Well, I'm hoping it's 0, at least in corporate America, perhaps. But if you're an entrepreneur, we'll take 2%.
You guys know what I'm talking about too, don't you? It happens.
For 2 years.
For image consulting, I've been here for almost 12 now because I was with Vera for 8.5.
Okay. And customers?
I have almost 70 right now.
Wow.
I think it's
Because I think a lot of people think that I can't have that. That's not something, they do not understand the value of it.
Oh, yes, I completely agree with that.
And I think that it really is not just a niche market. I think you're right. But I too wanted to know, how are you going to duplicate yourself? Have you got that in place?
No, because right now I still feel like there will be at least a year to two to really show, to just educate the area. What I am doing though, when we talk about being attainable financially, I know that my prices are low. I'm $39 to go shopping. That is too low, but those are the customers I want. I love my budget customers because they're real. I've worked in the fashion industry for so long. I know you can go buy a $1,000 dress and those people will help you buy that dress. The people at Goodwill don't help you. They have a million other jobs to do. They're not there for the client. So, but how I am determined to increase my wages. So my projections for the next year, I'm hoping will be 67,000 is this online class. So I have been taking a lot of schooling the last year and a half, and I have already created an online class. I've tested it, and now I'm taking a course that will help me market it. So there's a whole funneling system. There's 2 emails beforehand, and there's 1 on the day of, and there's 4 strategically placed after that. So these are all things I never had to know sitting behind a desk. So I think that will be the majority of my increase in income, but then I also really want to increase corporate clients, and that will almost duplicate myself in that aspect. Does that make sense? Because I'll already be able to hit so many more people at one time, and the individuals won't have to pay me. It would be the corporate client paying me.
Anybody else? All right.